The bank lobby was a symphony of quiet activity. The soft chatter of customers, the click-clack of heels on the polished floor, and the hum of machines printing out receipts. Tucked away in a corner, a man in a sharp navy blue suit sat with an air of immense patience. His hands were neatly folded, his eyes calm and observant. This was Derrick Lawson, and he had been waiting at Harbor National Bank for over 2 hours for an appointment he descheduled weeks ago. He wasn't causing a scene, he wasn't pacing restlessly. He simply waited. But his patience, though vast, was being put to the test. Behind the thick glass of the teller counter, the branch manager, Karen Miller, had been eyeing him for a while. She leaned over to her assistant, her voice a low whisper. "He's still here?" The assistant nodded timidly. "Yes, ma'am. He says he's waiting for you. He has an appointment." Karen's brow furrowed in annoyance. "Really? He doesn't exactly look like someone with that kind of appointment. He's probably just here for a small loan or something." Her assistant shifted uncomfortably. "Should I go ask him again?" "No," Karen snapped back, her tone sharp. "Let him wait. He'll get tired and leave eventually." With that, she retreated into her office, making a show of shuffling papers on her desk. Another hour ticked by. Derrick glanced at his watch, a faint, knowing smile playing on his lips. He wasn't angry. He'd encountered this kind of treatment before. Finally, a teller approached him, looking slightly flustered. "Sir, the manager will see you now." As Derrick entered her office, Karen didn't even bother to look up from her screen. "Name?" she asked, her voice flat and dismissive. "Derrick Lawson." She typed his name, her expression unimpressed. "And what is it you need today, Mr. Lawson?" He offered her a kind smile. "I'm here to finalize the acquisition of Harbor National's parent branch. I believe you have the transfer documents ready for me?" Karen blinked, her mind struggling to process his words. What did you just say?" Derrick reached into his briefcase and pulled out a crisp, official-looking folder. "Here are the merger papers," he said calmly. "My firm, Lawson Holdings, just completed the buyout." Karen's face went completely pale. The color drained from her cheeks as she stared at him in disbelief. "You're joking," she whispered. "I don't joke about billion-dollar deals," he replied, his voice even and steady. Her jaw dropped. "You mean, you're—" "Yes," he confirmed, leaning back slightly in his chair. "I'm the new owner of this bank, and your boss." The office fell into a deafening silence. The same woman who had deliberately made him wait for hours was now trembling before him. I'm so sorry, sir," she stammered, her voice barely audible. "I didn't realize—" Derrick gently raised a hand to stop her. "You didn't need to realize who I was. You just needed to do your job. With respect." She swallowed hard, the words catching in her throat. He stood up and smoothly buttoned his jacket. "You know, Karen, when I walked in here today, I wasn't judging anyone, but I was observing, and what I saw told me more about your leadership than any resume ever could." Her lips began to tremble. "Please, sir, I can explain." He turned towards the door, his demeanor cool and collected. "Save it. You'll have a meeting with HR in the morning. They'll explain everything." And with that, Derrick Lawson walked out, calm, composed, and utterly unbothered. As the door clicked shut behind him, Karen sank into her chair, the full weight of her mistake crashing down on her. She had just insulted, belittled, and dismissed the very man who now owned everything she had worked for. By Monday morning, the bank was buzzing with the story. It had spread like wildfire. The man Karen had forced to wait for hours was the new owner. Employees whispered in corners, recounting the tale as if it were a modern-day legend. When Derrick arrived for his first official meeting as the new CEO, the entire staff snapped to attention. He greeted each person with warmth and a genuine smile. Even Karen, who stood awkwardly at the back of the room, clutching a folder to her chest. Her voice cracked as she spoke up. "Mr. Lawson, I just want to apologize for how I treated you. I judged you unfairly." He nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "You did. But acknowledging your mistake is the first step toward changing it." She lowered her eyes in shame. "I don't deserve this job." He offered a faint smile. "Maybe not yesterday's version of you, but you can start earning it today. If you commit to treating every single person who walks through these doors with respect, no matter who they are or what you assume they have." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Thank you, sir. I won't forget this lesson." He then turned to address the entire staff. "I didn't buy this bank to make a few people rich. I bought it to make banking human again. No one should ever be made to feel less than, simply because of how they look, where they come from, or what we assume about their circumstances." The room was silent, every person hanging on his words. Even Karen nodded, humbled and ready to change. From that day forward, the entire atmosphere of the bank transformed. The tellers smiled more freely, the staff greeted every customer as an honored guest, and as for Karen, she became one of Derrick's most dedicated allies. She even took it upon herself to lead new employee training sessions on empathy and professionalism. Months later, she caught him in the hallway. "You changed my life that day," she told him quietly, "by not firing me." Derrick smiled. "Sometimes, the best way to win people over isn't through punishment. It's through a powerful example." They shook hands, no longer as boss and subordinate, but as equals working toward a shared vision. Outside, the same sunlight that once seemed to glare through the bank's windows now felt softer, warmer, because real, lasting change had finally begun from within. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful true stories. Have a wonderful day ahead.